I'm Scott. Matt's turning his phone off
I am. So I'm doing it right now.
so that we can record a good podcast for you guys. I wanted to start off, and I want to plug Diamond Darren Deaton's new podcast he does with producer Trent. Diamond Darren Deaton, doctor of physical therapy in the Dallas region, and his show is called 40 Fit Radio.
Ruggedly good-looking guy, too.
Yeah, he makes me sick. It's a great show. He has a lot of, he's got a lot of clinical experience as a physical therapist. He's got a lot of friends in the medical business, and he's got great guests. He digs more into the health and wellness stuff than we do, and he's really focused on people over 40. He's a masters CrossFit athlete and jacked, and we were at the seminar a couple weeks ago, and he's like, "Going to do a PR attempt." Right, so he walked out 405, squatted it.
We're like, right at parallel.
Right at parallel, kind of led with his chest out of the hole. He's like, "Dang it." 8 minutes later, took it for another ride, did it, and actually, got 2 singles for his all-time lifetime PR.
Yeah,
he's a super guy. But he's got a great show.
By the way, he's 50 or 51 now. He's over 50. He might not quite be 51, but if he is,
I think he's 53.
No, he's not.
I think. I don't know.
He's not.
He'll let me know.
51.
He'll let me know after that.
I remember when he turned 50. It couldn't have been 3 years ago. It was recently. So,
but
yeah, 40 Fit's awesome. It's a great. So yeah, if you've got if you have especially if you've got somebody that's in their 40s or 50s and they're turned off by the crassness of Matt and Scott and Barbell Logic, right. then 40 Fit's probably a great place to start. He's a great guy. He's got an infectious personality. He owns like 6 physical therapy
clinics. He's just so knowledgeable.
He is.
He knows
Done it for years.
He knows the CrossFit world, the nutrition world, the physical therapy world, and he's your guy. So go listen to Darren. We love him and help him out, and it'll help you out. So go listen to that. Also,
YouTube channel, man.
Yep.
Our YouTube channel, we are about to launch. We're getting really, really close to launch. I mean,
wait a minute.
Yeah,
it's launched.
Yeah, we've got it launched. It's so right now our YouTube channel is only the podcasts. And so you've kind of got a little bit of a taster. For those of you guys watching on YouTube, you can see those super nice studios that we've built here in lovely Springfield, Missouri. Yeah, so we're going to launch a series of 3-minute videos. You and I mostly won't be on them.
Hopefully.
And we're going to use our incredible staff at SSOC and the wonderful people we know to tell little stories and the same kind of walkthrough and a systematic progression, a kind of a logical progression of strength training and health and fitness and conditioning, nutrition, and it'll be awesome. There are lots of people who won't read Starting Strength, and I wish they would.
Right.
And there are a lot of people that won't listen to Barbell Logic, and I wish they would. But
losers.
If you want to introduce somebody to the way we train and strength training and health and lots of different body types and great coaches and well-spoken people, and they pull out all the fluff, then that's what our videos are going to be. These little 3-minute, like do this, then this, why strength, why that's important, how to get strong, why that's better than cardio and yoga in the beginning, when to add things like cardio, how to eat, training for women, training for pregnancy, guys like Darren Deaton coming on, talk about physical therapy.
Would you like to hear how I trained for Charity's pregnancy?
How did you train for Charity's pregnancy?
Just practiced.
Yeah.
A lot.
Just grinded. Just had to grind it out.
Grind it out.
Every day.
So the idea is we're going to have 2 long-form videos every week, which is the Barbell Logic podcast. It's already there. You can go watch those. And then we'll also be putting out 2 more
short form
3 to 5 minute videos. There will be strictly instructional. This is a riff and really conversation between buddies, and hopefully people learn something from that. But these will be much more pointed and much more subject oriented.
Highly produced, and we've got a great video producer with Sam Holder and Trent, obviously doing audio there. And man, we've already made the first set of videos, and makes the hair stand up on the back of my neck. They're great, and hopefully we'll just get better and better. Hopefully we've done the same thing on the podcast.
Hopefully.
That's that.
And quickly, 3 months free nutrition if you go to Starting Strength Online Coaching and use the promo code SUMMERBOD. And you can go to onlinegreatbooks.com and join our VIP waiting list, and I will give you the coupon code for the next time we start that up, and you can do the whole mind, body, spirit thing, right?
But you have to sign up. So you're not getting the coupon code here on the podcast.
That's right. You have to sign up for the waiting list,
and then you get the that's a good.
Yeah, so you sign up for the waiting list, and then we'll send you guys all kinds of materials, book synopses and instructional stuff about how to improve your reading skills. And you get a whole bunch from me before you even get an opportunity to sign up.
You give away too much.
Well, I want to give them so much that they feel bad.
We've talked about this. I have always, this is not the only way to skin a cat, so to say. But I've always been a fan of people who give away content, really high quality content for free. And so like for us at SSOC, the thing that kind of pays the bills, and the thing that we want people to sign up for is online coaching, but the content's going to be free. So even if you never do sign up for online coaching, or if you have a starting strength coach, or you just don't think you need a coach, you can still get all that content for free from us.
Right.
And so we're going to give away as much as we can. And so you can do the same thing for us. You can go to barbell-logic.com or startingstrengthonlinecoaching.com and sign up for the newsletter, the same newsletter that you'll get, the Friday Fives newsletter.
Right.
That's put out on Friday, and we give lots of like high quality content there for free, freemium content they call it.
Right.
And discount codes for online coaching and online great books and some retail stuff. And sometimes we've got some kind of partner companies that we use to get discounts off other things that are sort of associated and synergistic with what we do. And so check that out.
Yeah, enough gratuitous plugs.
Except it's a pretty good lead in. Summer bod, you get the free nutrition. And so if you sign up at Starting Strength Online Coaching, get this free nutrition for the next 3 months, and you just pay for online coaching. We have both been working with Robert Santana for several months now, and we both...
I'm trying to get this to stick. Bob Tana.
Bob Tana.
Because we always call him Robert Santana.
Yeah.
Let me tell you, Robert Santana. We always talk about him in his full name.
Joey Diaz.
Yeah, we've been working with
Bob
Santana. Bob Tana with nutrition.
Yeah.
And he's pulled some pounds off of me and got some PRs for me all the while.
Yeah, we've both lost quite a bit of weight and stayed strong or even gotten stronger.
So how much have you lost? Are you willing to go hang it out there?
Yeah, I've lost, I think, 28. 20.
In what period of time?
So about 3 months.
Okay.
Somewhere in there. And that's
hustling, buddy.
Not only is it hustling, it's like, think of how many nights have I spent in my own bed in the last 3 months? Not very many.
Know.
Well,
I know how many you've spent in mine. None. Zero.
So much. Just traveled so much. And so actually we'll probably talk about that on this episode, but we want to talk about kind of a day in the life of our diet. So certainly we are not, this would probably be better if you had Darren Deaton talking about his diet, but here's the thing.
When
I want to learn from somebody like how to like deadlift tips and tricks,
right?
I don't want to learn that from Andy Bolton, who pulled 600 pounds the first time he ever deadlifted. And I don't want to learn that from some strongman that deadlifts 1,000. I want to learn from the guy who really, really struggled to even be average and then worked really hard and got strong. And that's actually, you and I are both that way. We both have average or below average eating genetics for sure. And so I get it. I'm more athletic than you are. But from, I've been, tendency to be a little pudgy on the pudgy side for most of my adult life, certainly. Right. And so, yeah, we've lost a bunch of weight and Santana's done it. I've really kind of changed my mindset about how to eat and how I feel when I eat, the style he coaches.
Right.
And so we want to talk about that today.
So the way the Santana thing works is most of the time he just has you eat normally for 1 to 2 weeks and log everything you eat.
That's right.
And weigh on a regular basis so he can figure out what the heck you're doing now.
Yep.
So people are going to, I think the biggest question we're going to get from people are, what are your macros? It doesn't matter what mine are because you're not my height, you're not my weight, you're not my age, you're not my hormonal makeup. Your macros are different
your
than
metabolism,
mine are.
All that stuff.
Yeah.
Sure.
Maybe you lift heavier, maybe you don't lift as much. So your macros will be different than mine. So we start with, what are you doing right now and how is that affecting your weight now?
That's right.
So a guy that diligently logs his food for 2 weeks, and he has been weighing every Monday for 6 months. We know that his weight is just fluctuating a couple of pounds. Mm-hmm. Well, Santana would very easily be able to make some macro recommendations and get that guy dialed in. But so we start with that. Then Santana makes some recommendations. He almost always cuts fat and raises carbs because Americans tend to eat too much fat.
Yep.
And then you work from there. Weigh in regularly, see what's happening to the waistband, and start making some progress. What we actually want to do, our dream for me and you, I think, is for our weight to stay exactly the same and our waist to go down. If you could walk around in 280 with like a 32-inch waist.
Oh, it'd be glorious. Yeah.
Right. So
but that probably won't happen. So my waist continues to go down for sure. And my body weight goes down too, but my waist is going down. If you look at the percentage loss, my waist has gone down significantly more than my percentage of body weight has gone down. Right. So which is what we want.
That's what you want. Yeah. So he's gotten my macros dialed in very, very tightly, and he did it really quickly. And if I'm able to hit them every single day, I'll lose a pound to 2 pounds a week. Mm-hmm. Me being who I am and my height, I lose about an inch of waist every maybe 8 pounds.
Okay. That's
something
right.
like that. Something like that. Maybe 7 pounds, something like that.
Yep.
And I have lost about 17 pounds since January 1st. I actually lost most of that in the first 3 months, and then he had me kind of hold, frankly, because I was traveling too much, and I really wasn't going to make any progress anyway. So he kind of refed me a little bit.
Yep.
But 2 or 3 weeks ago, I hit around the PRs on just almost everything but the deadlift. It's 17 pounds lighter than the previous PRs.
Yeah.
17 pounds body weight lighter. So that's
and you
fantastic.
look a lot different. It's not just 17 pounds. I mean, again, we changed shirts. Should we just tell them that we recorded the last podcast 10 minutes before this podcast? We're like, hey, we ought to change our shirts.
So I had to put on my
you pulled
Minecraft
that shirt
t-shirt
off. Nice.
that Evan sent me.
You pulled that shirt off, and I was like, you are by far the leanest I've ever seen you.
Yeah, I'm the leanest I've been since I was maybe ever.
Yeah.
Like even when I was skinny, I
right.
probably had a higher body fat.
Sure.
So
one of the things I like about when you started doing nutrition with Santana or the team at SSOC is that while you're tracking what you're eating, we send you that ebook. So you get a chance. So, Santana wrote this ebook that there's really nothing out there like it. There isn't anything. If there was good content about nutrition out there, we would send you there. So look, just read it. If there was like a starting strength for nutrition, there isn't. And so,
well, it is, but you have to join to get it. I mean,
right. It's
pretty good.
It's pretty good. And so I brought Santana out here, I don't know, 8 months ago. And we worked, long, like 14-hour days, 5-6 days in a row. And just Santana, that guy drank like 4 pots of coffee a day,
right.
Just stemmed out like crazy and just wrote. And we did it on Google Drive. So he'd be writing and then I'd be copy editing right behind him, copy editing. And so, and then we got it cleaned up. We sent it to our, our design people and made it look all nice. And so you get to read this ebook, which is really an overview of all things nutrition that you need to know to sort of attack your nutrition and change your lifestyle, not to go on a diet, but to understand how to eat from here on out while you're tracking. Because a lot of times I think people sign up and like, I want to start doing stuff. You're like, hey, we got to know what you're eating.
Don't
first.
have any idea what you're eating.
Yeah, so you can't change anything. So I tell my clients when they do it, like, look, if you're drinking 6 beers at night, drink 6 beers at night. And while you're tracking, right? And if you're sneaking Reese's peanut butter cups out of your desk drawer, you just do it because we got to see what you're eating so we know where to start.
Yeah, it's no judgment. Just eat what you're eating, but just don't lie about it and just put it all in there. It's cool. You might get to eat 5 Reese's peanut butter cups and 5 beers and still lose weight.
That's right.
It's not all bad news.
That's right. As a matter of fact, if you cheat and you eat the week that you track,
you're going to
starve
eat on
average 12 or 1,500 calories less than you've been eating every day. He's going to start you 500 calories less than that, and you're going to go, oh my God, I'm dying. So you've got to start. You've got to be honest and start. So you did it.
You started it. Yeah. I think Jed Jones said, hey, what do you guys? No, it was Tim Peterson. He said, why don't you do a show about the day in your diet?
Yep.
So thing.
You don't want to give them, but let's say our macros and is that okay?
Yeah, that's fine.
So let's go ahead and say it, but with that caveat that look, it's more about ratios. I want people to kind of understand the ratios that we're at right now. So we're eating. So what are your macros right now set at?
80 grams of fat.
Okay.
220 grams of carbs.
Okay. 220 grams of carbs?
Yep.
Shit, that's low.
I know I'm not eating much food. It sucks.
Right.
220 grams of protein.
Oh man, mine are so much higher.
Well, look at you. Your weights. You're pulling bigger weights. You got more muscle mass.
250 grams of protein. I'm 310 carbs right now, although he's peeling those off, and I'm like 77, like between 75 and 80 grams of fat. And I actually asked. I asked to kind of trade off a little more fat. He kind of wanted to keep my fat at like 85 and drop my carbs a little more. And once I get used to this diet, in the beginning, dropping your fat, I was probably eating between 170 and 200 grams of fat a day.
Oh, yeah.
It's just easy. It's easy to eat 200 grams of fat. Like
it's delicious to eat that.
Ribeyes and butter and stuff. It's fine. And so it takes a little while to get used to that. But here's the thing. For those of you guys that follow me in the past, I've done keto diets. And I've been okay with them. I'll lose a fair amount of fat on them, but man, my workouts suck.
Yeah,
they bonk on it.
Most people actually don't do well on those, not even in terms of their workouts. It's just a trick to keep you satiated and go on caloric restriction.
That's exactly right. Any diet's going to be caloric restriction.
But if you eat too much fat, you're still not going to be in caloric restriction.
Right, sure.
So a few observations. Well, I'll talk about it. When I'm doing it right and things are going well, I eat the exact same breakfast every day.
Okay, so let's go down the line and let's talk about what you eat from the time you wake up, and we'll go back and forth. So we'll both do breakfast. We'll both do lunch. So first off, do you eat anything before breakfast or drink anything before breakfast?
Well, coffee.
Me too. Coffee only, right?
Right. Yeah.
And you do coffee black.
Because I'm a closer.
Right. Because we're closers. You do coffee black.
Yep.
I've gone from coffee with lots of cream to coffee with the tiniest little splash of half and half in it.
Yeah, you need to stop that.
I'm working on it. I mean, when you see the splash, you would laugh. You'd be like, why don't you just go black?
Right.
I can do black. I don't know.
You'll never go back if you do.
I know, that's what I hear. So coffee only.
Yep.
And how long do you drink coffee before you eat some breakfast?
Not very long. Okay. I mean, I get up, brush my teeth, hit the shower, shave, walk in the kitchen, start the coffee grinder, start getting a little bit of breakfast together. Breakfast is very simple.
Okay, what do you do?
It is one of these yogurts, like a Chobani thing, Icelandic yogurt, like one of these. Yeah, one of these low fat Trader Joe's. Most of the time, it's the Trader Joe's house brand, like Greek yogurt.
So it's high protein, low fat.
It's like 16, 19 grams of protein, 25 grams of carbs, something like that, and like 3 grams of fat.
Okay.
And I stir in Fiber One cereal.
Okay.
Like they have one that looks like little sticks.
Yeah.
It's either that one or the buds, which look like kind of like grape nuts.
That's what I put in.
One of those, because one of the macros that we have, we're
the
trying to
fourth
get
macro.
Yep, dietary fiber. I'm shooting for 40 grams of dietary fiber. Well, I can get about 15 in that right there.
Sure. I can get 40 with 2 cheater foods.
Yeah.
Brand Buds is one of them. So I do the same thing. So Brand Buds, I like Siggy's yogurt. And I actually started with the vanilla. And I like the vanilla. It's my favorite. But as he pulls my carbs, I like the plain. Most people hate it, dude. It's so sour and it's not very sweet. But I don't mind it at all. So anyway, same thing.
That's
Siggy's
breakfast.
yogurt. That's your whole breakfast?
That's it.
Oh,
dude,
that's not
I
what
can't.
I eat for breakfast. Okay.
Well, yeah. And then about...
Okay, hold on. So what I do for breakfast is I do about a cup of egg whites. We buy
That cup of egg whites is the difference in our protein macros for the day.
Yep.
Right there.
Yeah, maybe. So I do a cup of egg whites scrambled. So I used to bitch and moan about people who didn't eat egg yolks. And then when you get on this kind of macro train, you start to realize like fat is like the treat.
Delicious.
Fat's the treat. And if I go from eggs with yolks to eggs with no yolks, they're not quite as good, but they're close to as good.
No, they're not.
But then I get to save the fat for something else that I really want, right? So then maybe I get to make a protein shake after a while with whole raw milk in it instead of skim milk and egg whites, which sometimes I have to do as well, right? So breakfast for me is a cup of egg whites scrambled, 2 or 3 pieces of microwavable pre-cooked bacon that I put in the microwave, put tons of paper towels down, soak up whatever last fat is, and overcook it until it's so crispy it's ridiculous, and then just crunch those up in the scrambled eggs.
So here's the problem with that. You don't know how much fat's in that.
Well, it's almost none. Well, I'm going off what is on the package, and the package has to be higher than
so
what
you're probably undershooting it.
I'm undershooting, right. And so do that. And then I put it on one of the Mission carb tortillas, whatever that thing's called. And that's got a bunch of fiber in it. So it's got I forget what it is, 22 grams of carbs, and it's got like 12 grams of fiber. So it's like high fiber, really high fiber. So I'll do, and I usually put cilantro on it, and I squeeze lime on it, right? And sometimes I'll put a little feta cheese because I'm doing the egg whites again. So it's one of those deals. I could do the whole egg and not get any cheese, or I could do egg whites and put a little goat cheese on it or a little feta cheese. The goat cheese on that thing is great.
Right.
So that's what I'll do. So that's breakfast, and I have that with coffee.
Do you do a mid-morning?
That's usually when I do my Siggy's and my Brand Buds.
Oh, mid-morning. Okay. Well, my mid-morning will be 50, 60 grams in a protein shake.
Okay.
Made with water.
Ugh. Gross. You know what I would do if I were you? Are you doing 2 scoops of protein?
Mm-hmm.
I would go to 1 scoop of protein and then the same amount of protein in egg whites and water and then blend it up. It's so much better.
Right.
Like pasteurized egg whites as a replacement for milk and protein shakes are awesome. They froth up and make it, God, water's gross. Now, if you just shake it up in a shaker cup and you chug it real
just take it like
fast,
medicine.
I know. It's fine, but it's so much better. What kind of protein do you use?
Oh, gosh.
We don't have a protein deal, right? So we're not making any money off this.
Man, I use Cellucor for years. They have jacked it
Yeah, it's
up.
not very good all of a sudden.
They've ruined it. And so I buy whatever charity gets me. I mean, I eat whatever charity gets me. And right now, I don't even know.
What's your favorite flavor?
Vanilla.
I'm cinnamon.
No, cinnamon's garbage.
I know. You're a tiger.
Yeah, I don't like that
say
stuff.
cinnamon.
Lunch.
Okay.
Lunch varies a little more, but the thing I eat most for lunch is salad bowl from Chipotle, double lettuce, double, maybe even triple chicken,
Yep.
fresh tomato salsa, and green tomatillo salsa.
Any beans and rice?
Nope.
None.
Nope.
There's almost no carbs.
Yep.
Okay. And almost no fat.
Yep.
It's just fiber and protein.
Yeah, and more and more often I'm doing triple chicken on that, and then that's it. Eat that.
Okay.
Tons of the chipotle Tabasco sauce on there.
Okay.
The vinaigrette sauce salad dressing they give you will wreck. It's my whole day's worth of fat if I'm not mistaken.
It's all oil.
It's delicious, but I can't have it at all. So there's lunch.
So I do for lunch almost every day. I've gotten boring. I eat a tuna sandwich, and I like the Thai chili pepper tuna, flavored tuna. I get a big bunch of that tuna. So I usually can't find, I've found it once or twice before, the big packs of that, but I normally get the little packs, and I have to do 2 of them because it's not enough protein. So 2 packs. And then there's Greek yogurt, cream cheese.
Yeah.
And so I'll put, I don't know, probably 2 tablespoons, quite a bit, enough of Greek yogurt cream cheese. And then I take grated Parmesan cheese, like, the shitty stuff that just comes in that you put on pizza.
Heather Cook calls that shake cheese.
Yeah, shake cheese.
I want to kill her with a hammer.
There's not very much fat in that either. So I put that, so it's tuna and this Greek yogurt cream cheese, which is really low fat and high protein, and then the Parmesan cheese, and I just mix it up. And I take 2 pieces of decent bread that we use and toast them because I want them toasted. And it's like this thick. It's this thick of tuna and 2 pieces of bread. I eat that, and I usually drink like I'm drinking right now, a black cherry citrus fresca. I like stuff like this, and this is I don't drink soda at all. Like even diet soda. I mean, I might have one a month maybe. I just don't. I used to, dude. I bet I drink a 2-liter of real soda a day.
Coke Zero. So
I love it. Coke Zero is great. I just don't have it very often. This feels better. The LaCroix, is it whatever the hell it is?
LaCroix, as far as I'm concerned.
LaCroix. I love that stuff. I love it. It's good.
All of my lunches pretty much look like that. I often will take some sort of leftover meat. Right? It's either beef or chicken.
Yep.
It's the beef lately has been flank steak. It's about the leanest thing you can get. Really, It's pretty close anyway. Carb controlled tortillas. Again, Chipotle Tabasco.
Yep.
Or sometimes and there's some dressings that there's cilantro lime dressing that you can get from Trader Joe's.
Yeah.
I use that.
I've had that, the Trader Joe's stuff.
Yeah, it's delicious. That's lunch. When I get home,
so
mid-afternoon. So I'll get home at around 3, and I will eat I guess it's a pint. It's a pint of Halo Top ice cream.
Okay.
Whichever one, whatever.
Yeah.
I love, the pancakes and waffles is the best.
What was the stuff that we had? Now, what's that stuff
Chili
called?
Cow?
Oh, my God.
Chili Cow's good.
So I introduced Santana and Christy and Nikki and a bunch of the crew to Chili Cow.
Yeah, it's good.
Guys, listen. Chili Cow is so much better than Halo Top. And the macros are as good or better than Halo Top.
Yeah.
Halo Top is like ice. I love it. Don't get me wrong.
I love ice milk.
The pancake and waffle one, that's so good. It's delicious. I don't really have a sweet tooth, so I don't need it very much. But it's just not creamy. I'll tell you. So my mid-afternoon snack that I typically do is that's when I do my protein shake. So I've been training mid-afternoon. I'm actually getting ready to switch and start training in the morning. So lately what I'll do is I'll train mid-afternoon. So if I train, I'll do 2 packs of oatmeal, and I usually do the maple and brown sugar oatmeal. Put them in the microwave and do that, and put a little bit of Splenda in there and mix that up. If it's a big training day, like I'm squatting and deadlifting and want a little more carbs pre-training, I feel like I need a little more carbs pre-training, I might put some cranberries or something like some dried cranberries in there, or a little bit of fruit. But pretty much just have that oatmeal, and then I'll have a protein shake. And it's usually pre-training. It's usually a low fat protein shake. So kind of what I was telling Scott a minute ago was I'll do egg whites. Sometimes it's just egg whites and whey. Sometimes it's egg whites and water and whey. Sometimes it's egg whites and almond milk and whey with really low fat versions. And so try to keep my fat really low and just relatively high protein and carbs. If I don't train, that's when I'll have a protein shake with fat. So I'll make a protein shake with some whole milk. We get raw whole milk delivered to the house every week, and I'll do that. So it's my mid-afternoon. So dinner,
it's almost always the same. Charity makes some sort of delicious meat. Like I said, a lot of flank steak, a lot of chicken, a lot of pork loin.
Yep.
And I'll eat 8 to 12 ounces of whatever that is.
Yep.
And Charity makes these giant salads that like fall off the edges of the plate. Trader Joe's Sriracha Ranch on there, maybe.
Okay.
Maybe that cilantro lime dressing. Neither of those are too terribly fatty. Carb control tortillas.
Yep.
There's some pitas that we get that are pretty low in carbs and make the grade anyway. And that's dinner.
Yeah.
And then I look at my phone and I see how many macros I have left. And then I make up the difference with ice cream.
All right, so at night.
With the ice cream. And I might need a scoop of protein maybe at the end of that day, depending on how it went.
So dinner, we'll do a similar thing. We grill a lot of meat, or I buy a lot of sort of grilled meat, low-fat meat, or baked stuff. And so we do a lot of chicken, all sous vide stuff. So if you guys haven't looked at sous vide, Brent Carter actually did a really nice article for us on sous vides on the Friday Fives newsletter. And so I'll sous vide some chicken or some steak, and then I'll sear it. I will do a lot of tilapia. I know tilapia is not it's from a macro standpoint, it's wonderful. From a farm raised, they're terrible. They stuff them full of corn and shit. It's not very good. It's not a high quality fish, but tilapia works pretty well. I do a lot of shrimp, but of course, if I do shrimp, I usually have to mix it with chicken. It's not shrimp is you got to eat a ton of it to get enough protein.
Right.
And almost always rice. I just like rice. I'll do sweet potatoes a lot of times.
I prefer to get my carbs in ice cream.
Yeah, no, it's fine. I don't have a sweet taste. We also do big salads. So I'll do rice, and I'll make like a cilantro lime rice a lot of times. It's just basically like a boiled white or jasmine or basmati rice. And I'll squeeze lime in there, put some garlic in there, and then put fresh cut cilantro on it afterwards. And I'll put some sriracha, just normal sriracha on it. And eat it with the meat. That works great. A lot of times I'll bake a sweet potato, cut it open, put a bunch of cinnamon on it, and Splenda. You don't do cinnamon at all.
No, it's only good on cinnamon rolls.
Ooh, cinnamon rolls.
It's like
good.
raisins. It's just completely effed out. People
put
it on everything.
No, I don't like
it's
raisins.
Stop.
I don't like raisins in anything, actually. So that's what I do. And then we'll do a big salad, same sort of thing.
Grape jerky.
We get we're part of a CSA. You know what that is?
The Confederate States of America?
Confederate States of America is what we're part of. No, it's community-supported agriculture. So
I don't use words like that.
Do you really not know what that is? This is my leftist organization that I'm part of.
We used to call those farms.
Yeah, so
and you would go to the farm and give them money.
Yeah, so it's sort of the same thing. Only the difference is we give them all the money at the beginning.
CSA.
Just listen. We give them the money at the beginning of the season.
Right.
And so
you're buying futures.
You're basically buying futures. You're buying future stocks in the farm based on how the farm does. And then they come and deliver lots of fresh greens and eggs and meat and stuff like that every single week. We're one that does all of those sorts of things. Man, our greens are amazing. They bring us all kinds of cool stuff. And I love arugula, like peppery arugula and just all kinds of fun greens. So we'll do a big salad, same thing. We usually do a little feta cheese in there in the salad.
Yeah.
Some dried cranberries.
Yeah, there's always some cheese in there.
Some walnuts. That's what we do. And then there's a Panera Fuji apple dressing that we make. It's awesome. Or we'll do a homemade raspberry balsamic vinaigrette that basically has no oil in it. It's basically balsamic vinegar and like raspberry sauce, maybe a tiny little bit of olive oil, but you don't. I don't think you don't need oil in salad dressing. The vinegar is what you want. What's the oil just makes it stick to it, right? Otherwise, it kind of gets to the bottom. So we do that, and a half bottle of red wine.
Right.
So if it's there, and
I don't lug my booze.
Well, it's really
nope.
Well, that's like you don't count it at all.
No.
So you're going over on the calories every single day with booze.
No.
Because you don't drink booze every day?
No, I mean, I pretty much drink the same amount every day, so,
so
it doesn't matter. Right.
So it doesn't really matter.
Right, it just cancels out.
I gotcha.
You got X on both sides of the
I've tried
equation.
to actually cut down quite a bit. Rachel and I will drink a nice, like, real dry, heavy red.
I bet I only drink 5 ounces of whiskey a week.
Yeah. Yeah, I probably drink 5 ounces of whiskey a day.
Right? No, that's a week.
So, like I said, I'm trying to cut back. So, no, I mean, I cut back. And then Santana, and what I'll do is I'll take the alcohol, convert the alcohol to calories.
Right.
And I'll take those calories out of either carbs or fat. Now, there's an argument for which one to do. It probably acts a little more like a carb, but its calorie level, gram for gram, since fat is 7 calories per gram, and
Wait a minute, it's
sorry,
9.
since alcohol is 7 calories per gram and fat is 9, so they're only 2 away. Santana really wants you to count it as fat.
Right.
But when you only have like 70 grams of fat in your diet, right, then there's not a lot to take. So I'll take it out of either. I know I'm not going to take it out of protein, so I've got to get my protein. I'll kind of do that. So you can play that game. And so the other thing I do, and it sounds like you do a similar sort of thing, especially like with your breakfast, is I'm sort of I'm holding back in the beginning of the day.
Both of my meals, both of the early meals, I'm holding back
because you're saving those macros.
Giant
yeah.
dinner.
So I just need to be almost not even satiated, like lightly satiated in the mornings. I'm okay. And then and even at lunch, I don't need a big lunch. And then I want to save my macros for like later in the day. If I eat a good big dinner, like with a bunch of meat and a bunch of rice or potato and a salad, I don't end up not snacking at 9:30 at night.
How much coffee you drink a day?
I've cut that way back too. So
why would you do that?
Well, because because I end up with some anxiety issues. I'll end up drinking like 9 cups of coffee till 11 a.m. and then I start drinking alcohol at 11 a.m. And so my whole life is just like uppers and downers,
like
uppers
Elvis.
and downers, right? And one of these days, my heart's going to explode. Right. So like this morning, I had 2 cups of coffee.
Okay.
And one of the things I've done is I've switched to making just 1 cup at a time. So I make it we're in the studio, kind of right behind the monitor actually that we use. I've got a electric kettle, and I make either a clever brewer pour over kind of thing. I think it's called a clever, or I'll do an AeroPress. And so if you make it 1 cup at a time, you drink less. When I was making the pot, like you had, like the big stainless steel thing, I drank the whole pot every single day.
Right.
Well, it's a pot of coffee, and then it's a bunch of caffeine for me, especially I start to feel like my heart starts racing, and I don't feel very good. So it's not that hard. Here's the thing.
It's boring.
It's boring, but you know what? You feel good, don't you?
You feel me? No. Yeah, absolutely.
I feel like crap on keto. Now, let me be clear. I feel fine on keto. Like once I actually kick over into ketosis, I feel fine. I always physically feel terrible on ketosis. I feel terrible. Every time if he'll trade me fat for carbs and give me carbs and let me have more carbs and take my fat away, I just feel better and better. Like I'm never going to eat 40 grams of carbs. Like I can't, right? But as long as I keep my fat in like that 70 to 80 gram range, I feel great. And I don't feel like heavy and bloated and gross. And the carbs I eat are usually pretty easy sort of digesting carbs. And so I like it. Feels good. You're looking up coffees?
Well, I was going to talk about my coffee maker. Justin Cookie's like, man, you need to do a show about your coffee maker. And
you got a Mocha Master?
Yeah, the pour over can't make enough.
Because you just you'd be doing it constantly.
Well, yeah, Charity's drinking coffee. I'm drinking coffee.
Oh, yeah, because you're making it at home together.
So
Rachel doesn't drink coffee. Rachel loves coffee, but the acid screws up her belly, so she can't drink it. So it's just
that's not okay. So we had for years, we had Mr. Coffee, like you had at Strong Gym. It had a thermal carafe.
Yeah.
Made a cup of coffee pretty darn quick. Made a pretty good cup of coffee.
Yeah.
But you couldn't put enough coffee in the basket to make the good
to make
cup.
it just heavy.
Well, no, I don't want to go overboard, but if you dig deep on the coffee, 60 to 70 grams for a 10 cup drip coffee maker is where it's at.
Yeah, right.
And so if you put 60 grams in just a regular coffee maker's basket and it gets wet and then it blooms,
Right.
if it's stale coffee and it's already ground, it won't bloom. Right. So it swells up and it releases all these gases from fermentation and stuff if it's freshly ground, and it swells up and it will overflow the basket of most coffee makers.
And then you get the grounds and
So you end up making a weak cup of coffee.
Right.
Because I'm not really trying to make mud. I just want it right.
Sure.
And most of them don't brew hot enough either. You want it to brew at 205 degrees roughly.
205 is exactly where I set mine.
And you want it to brew in 6 minutes.
Okay.
That's the sweet spot.
Well, it depends on the style, right?
Well, I'm talking about drip.
Okay.
I'm talking about my drip.
Okay.
So, after much research, I bought the Technivorm Mocha Master.
Right.
It has 205 degrees, dead nuts on.
It actually, you can set it like it's a sous vide.
No, that's what it is.
Where it brews.
It brews
a
whole carafe in 6 minutes, and I can put 100 grams of Double Shot Coffee Company's freshly ground coffee in there and make a carafe.
Make an awesome cup of coffee.
So I bought
A pot of coffee.
Yep, I've got a big steel burr grinder, coffee grinder that holds a whole pound in the hopper.
Is that bigger? How big? My Bodum back there. So I've got
That's a little bigger than that.
Okay.
Yeah.
But you know what I normally use? I normally use that little Porlex Japanese. I get a little hand Japanese grinder. That thing grinds. I'm telling you, that thing, nothing grinds coffee better than that little Porlex Japanese hand grinder. Well, I'm just saying, it's like yours is electric, right? It's like just,
I hit a button, walk off.
Me too. That's what the Bodum does. But there's something about, I'm telling you, that it just grinds perfect, that Porlex. By the way, I bought some awesome coffee sitting over there. I went to a place called Onyx Coffee Lab in Bentonville, Arkansas a couple weeks ago. So good. So good. I like that kind of hipster coffee stuff. And of course, you got to grind every day. You got to grind your coffee.
That's right.
Don't buy ground coffee.
Right.
Buy beans, get a decent grinder.
Yeah, that's what mine is. Mine's the Baratza Virtuoso.
Oh, that thing's nice. Look at that thing.
Oh, dude.
That was more expensive than mine for sure. You're not screwing around.
No, it's fantastic. And we buy
look, that's kind of like my Porlex right there.
And we buy our coffee at Double Shot Coffee Company in Tulsa, Oklahoma. It's the show Portlandia.
Yeah.
There's a fictional coffee shop in there that they supposedly modeled it on Double Shot. That guy will throw you out in the parking lot.
That's awesome.
If you're like, leave a little space for some cream, and then
he's like, no, we don't have any cream here. No, we don't do it.
Get out.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We got a place. They're much nicer service sort of people, but coffee like that, it's called Brick and Mortar. They do a great job as well.
Yeah, I love it. We get the we I don't know, man. We drink 3 pounds of coffee a week.
Oh my goodness, that's a bunch of coffee.
We wreck a bunch of coffee. Yeah, back to the diet. When I want to use this. I want to do the scare quotes on a cut.
Right.
When he's got me losing weight, man, I have to eat this pretty much. I have to be very formulaic. I have to eat the same thing every day. Yep. And it took me a while to figure out the formula. Like I would have the shake or egg whites or something with my yogurt in the morning. I'd be starving. I'd be ravenous by lunch, and I'd blow my lunch out of the water. Then I couldn't eat any dinner, and I'd be dying.
Right.
So I found that I could do that mid-morning thing. But I figured out what my formula is, and as long as I hit that, I'm fine. So Santana will have me lose weight for a time.
Yep.
And, here's something nobody hardly ever talks about. Calorie restriction is very stressful.
Sure.
Like we're a biological organism.
Mm-hmm.
We go into a calorie restriction, and your body thinks famine.
Yep.
And I don't know what all is going on, but mentally it's very stressful. So if you're having stress at work, stress at home, whatever, and plus the calorie restriction, depression's common.
Sure.
Anxiety goes up. Like there's a lot of problems involved with it. So he'll have me lose weight for a time, and then if it starts getting to me, or we know where I'm going to travel, he'll bump my macros back up and give me some breathing room, and then we just try to do maintenance. And
that's the best thing about Robert Santana and the whole nutrition team at SSOC is how empathetic they are to the clients. Well, I mean, I've used other nutrition coaches, and they're not empathetic. If it's always just an equation, if it's just do this and get these results, and when it slows down, we're going to take more away, and then take more away, and then take more away. Or if you're trying to gain weight, it's the other thing.
Just grind you to
powder.
powder.
You've got to still have some of this sort of psychology in it, and so Santana does that better than anybody I've ever met. And it's because he struggled with those things too, right? He's gained too much weight. He's lost too much weight. He's not eaten enough. He's gotten depressed over the way he's eaten, like all those sorts of things. And now the guy looks great. He looks great too. I'd still like to put another 15 pounds of muscle on the guy, and we probably will over the next five or 6 years.
Yeah, he's game.
But he, he looks as good as he's ever looked. He's lean. He looks jacked. And he's very empathetic, and he's set that culture of the nutrition coaches at SSOC to be empathetic. So even when you struggle, there's this sort of attitude that's like, okay, it's okay.
You bet.
But it's not okay to stay that way.
Yeah.
Like it's okay to kind of screw this up every once in a while, but we can't keep screwing it up. And so because of that, they've got this great way to encourage you back onto, how can I get you back on the wagon? They do a great job with that.
He does. He's super empathetic, like you said, and he's non-judgmental. He does a great job. And I don't know how, because he is the angriest dude I know.
Yeah, I know.
He will get from zero to mad.
And high strung, and yeah.
And when he's talking diet with me, I have no inkling of that.
Yeah.
But if you just go out to eat with him, you're like, what are you mad about?
Yeah, right.
Montana? So that's what the diet looks like. If I eat out, I won't lose weight. if I travel, I won't lose weight.
Yeah.
There are some things I could do for damage control. I can go to the grocery store in the town I've traveled to and buy those things that I talked about just now.
Yep.
And try to stick to that and only eat out maybe one meal. And I can do damage control. But if I'm eating out and I can't get to Chipotle, Zoe's Kitchen, Qdoba, one of those kinds of places, it ain't going to happen.
Yeah.
And I just have to be kind to myself in those days.
I travel a lot, and I've had to learn. I eat. I'll live off those sous vide egg bites at Starbucks. I get the egg white one, even though there's the bacon and Gruyere. It's better, it tastes better, but it's higher fat. You can actually get twice as many
I get
of
those
of the egg white ones for the same amount of fat as one of the bacon and Gruyere.
I go in there and order 6 of them. And they're like, that'll be $23.
Right, I know. I'll get those, and then when I travel, I live on oatmeal packs and protein shakes. I had protein and water. I'll take water. I'll put it in a shaker cup. I'll tear open a package of oatmeal. I'll put it in there. I'll put my cinnamon protein, which is actually pretty good with oatmeal. You put that in there, and I'll drink protein shakes, and then I can eat a dinner. And I go to dinner. The hard thing about dinner eating out is you never know how much fat is in it.
Never know.
Right? So if you get steamed vegetables, they call it steamed vegetables.
There's still a
Steamed
tablespoon of
vegetables,
butter on
and then
it.
they put the butter on top, right? So you have to say, like, don't put the butter on it. So yeah, you're trying to find grilled meat and say, please don't baste it in butter. Like baked chicken, like salmon works okay. Like you'll get salmon, like real.
I think all of that's just damage control, though. Right?
Yeah,
Because if you're traveling, you're probably not going to lose weight.
No, you're probably not. Although what I'm saying is, if I know I'm going to have to eat out at night, I can really pull back during the day on my eating, right? So it's like really low calorie all day long. It's protein shakes and egg bites and egg white stuff. And I'll run to a grocery store and get some Siggy's yogurt and some Brand Buds, and that's it. And so by the time I go to dinner, I've had 1,100 calories for the day. That's it. And I can go have a 1,400 calorie dinner, and it's okay. And I can stay in my window.
And sodium is almost always goes way, way up when I'm traveling. I come home and then I kind of pee it all off over the next couple of days.
Which doesn't matter. I mean, sodium really only matters to the way you look right now, not as much it has nothing to do with health, really. Like, I mean, we need to have it. So sodium's fine. Have your salt.
Oh yeah, I don't avoid it, but it's higher than it would be when I eat out. It's higher than it would be if I ate at home.
Yeah, it makes you feel bloated, and because it's processed food,
it moves the scale around.
Sure.
One last thing. This is a very slow process. I think what we're doing is going to it's going to stick.
Sure.
I may get back to my previous weight, but my waist won't be that size.
Sure.
And it's going to stick. And this is a long process. Everybody wants to say, I lost 56 pounds in 6 months. And blah, blah. Look, man,
if they did, they put it back on.
It just doesn't work.
Yeah,
but if we can create this habit and lose this stuff, like a pound a week or, pound and a half a week or something like that, and be very thoughtful about what we're doing, then we have a better chance of success.
Yeah, and you can go out and just blow it out every once in a while, and with the same sort of strategy, right? Like if I know I'm going to go out that night and I'm going to go eat Mexican food, I'm going to drink margaritas and eat tortilla chips, then I just eat super low calorie during the day, and I'll go blow it out. And I don't do it very often, right? You can't. You're not going to lose weight.
Well, I'll tell you this: I could go eat a Mexican restaurant and eat what I wanted to eat and drink a margarita and eat nothing else that day and will blow every single one of my macros except protein.
Really? Yeah, it's that.
Well, I don't get to eat that much food.
Right, I get it. Yeah.
80 grams of fat?
Yeah.
Come on, man.
Yeah, it goes fast, especially the queso.
It's tough.
Yeah.
But that's okay. But this whole thing, I've been doing this. I started losing weight. I don't even remember when it was.
Sure.
6 years ago. I was skinny fat.
Yep.
Then I got just skinny and extra skinny fat. Then started weight training. Put on a lot of muscle mass. Gained close to 60 pounds.
Yep.
Probably the same body fat. I went down to 179. Got back up to 233. And then Santana took me back down to about 217, something like that, maybe a little bit lower. And my waist has come down 3.5 inches, 4 inches, about 4 inches.
What's your waist right now?
My waist was 37 this morning.
It started at 41.
Yeah.
Yeah. And mine's 41 and a half now.
I was bumping 41. I was like 40 and a half.
Mine was 46.
Oh, that's nice.
Now it's
girthy.
41 and a half. And that's my big deal, man. I want to get under 40 inches.
Yeah, Santana was like, why don't we get you at 33? I'm like, let's not be hasty.
Hold on.
Let's not be hasty here.
Brett, man. McKay that guy's running around with an actual 32-inch waist at 225, 230. That's crazy.
Yeah, he's jacked.
Yeah.
But my point in telling all that is this has been a long process, and I don't think I've messed around.
No.
And I think I've kind of done it in the right order.
Yeah.
And this stuff doesn't happen overnight. I'm, on year 6 or something of this project, and it's actually going pretty well. I don't know what else. I don't know any other way I would have done it. I mean, you starve yourself and then lose a bunch, and
then gain it back and rebound.
I don't know how else to do it. So it's been working. I'm very, very happy with it. Charity's story is very much the same as mine.
Yeah.
And we're going to go on a Caribbean vacation.
Yep.
In a few weeks. And
what are you going to do there? You going to blow it out of the water, or are you just going to do the best you can?
I'll do the best I can for breakfast and lunch.
That's what I did.
And then I'm going to do whatever I'm going to do for dinner.
Barcelo. I ate really low calorie. They had like carpaccio and not carpaccio's beef, but whatever, like
and
sushi.
lox.
I mean, basically, like sushi, like fish,
right.
White fish that wasn't cooked. Like sashimi. I get that, and I get some boiled eggs. I'd eat a bunch of the boiled eggs. I'd leave like half the yolks. I wouldn't eat half the yolks. I'd do that for breakfast. Put the capers on them, and I assume capers have no.
I love capers.
Capers can't have hardly any calories, right? So, and do that for breakfast. And I'd go get grilled chicken breast and eat a salad for lunch, and just put balsamic vinaigrette on it. And then I'd go tear it up for dinner at night.
Anything else? Yeah, that's what my plan is. And I'll come back up. We're going to be gone for 12 days. I'll be back
10 pounds.
I'll be back 10 pounds up, and 2 days later, I'll be up 3 or 4.
Yeah, sure.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, that's what we eat.
That's it.
Yeah. When I'm being good, and I'm not always good,
So if you want to learn how to eat like us and like Bob Santana prescribes, you can sign up at StartingStrengthOnlineCoaching.com using discount code SUMMERBOD and get that nutrition for free for 3 months and just pay for the online coaching.
If you can't lose 15 pounds in that 3 months, you weren't doing it right anyway. Yeah. And go to barbell-logic.com and sign up for the Friday Fives newsletter. And Santana writes and puts our recipes in there. You get all kinds of goodies related to this, weightlifting, history, lore, PRs, and all that other kind of stuff. Go check us out on YouTube. Go to iTunes. Give us 5 stars.